Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's coming up on 6 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Uh, so I've been doing some research on a lot of things. Coronavirus, climate change. I got a book that I'm reading right now. See, when I tell you guys, when I do research too, a lot of times that doesn't mean just watching YouTube videos. I actually head to my local library. That's where I do a lot of my research. But anyway, I was trying to look at the impact. I saw a few. I try to put this simply because I got lost in all this information, and I'd like to convey some of the basic apparent situations that I came across. All right. I saw some tweets from Trump saying that the gas price is falling. Yay, great for the way he's trying to spin it is, it's great for America. Good for, look what I've done now, lower gas prices. It's really not. It's really not at all. And I've been reading why. Let me start with, okay, for months now, especially a couple of months back, Trump was going on bragging about how America is 100% self-sufficient in oil. This means due to fracking and other stuff, one of our biggest industries now is oil, fossil fuels. Now, yesterday and into last week, we had this price war between Russia and Saudi Arabia, or the OPEC nations, a disagreement on how to handle the coronavirus. Saudi Arabia was talking about lowering prices. Russia disagrees. Saudi Arabia says, screw you, drops prices. Prices now are at an all-time low. Not all-time low, their lowest point in 3 decades. I didn't think everything was quite this cloudy, quite this bad. Yesterday, Monday, March 9th, the market dropped the biggest drop in Dow Jones history ever, 1,900 points. What they call it? Treasury bond yields. Went down below 1%, lowest rate ever in United States history. That's the rate that the United States lends money to banks. Both these things are bad things. So I started doing some more reading and how this is affecting. There's a lot of what they call junk bonds. These are high risk, high yield bonds. People that want to take a risk but have potential to make money. A lot of them, the fracking industry there's a lot of junk bonds involved in the fracking industry, and the banks are getting very nervous right now because with the falling prices, nobody is making money on the price of a barrel of oil right now. Yesterday, oil companies' biggest losses, BP lost 19% of its overall price, its wealth. Shell lost, I think, 17. The oil companies took a huge hit yesterday, along with fracking and all that. Now, here's the thing. Oil's become, with Donald Trump at the helm, oil has become a huge part of our economy. And not only that, now the towns that are involved in this, up in North Dakota and Texas, could take a huge hit. And not just the oil companies, but everybody that depends on them. They start laying off people, then restaurants start failing. It's a pebble thrown into the water, the circles spreading out. And I didn't think there would be this much of an effect. And I see Trump's tweet saying, "Yay, low gas prices," and he knows behind this it's a lot of bad freaking news. Yeah, you're going to be paying a little less for a gallon of oil or a gallon of gas, but everything behind that is bad. It's not good news. And then along with this, okay, we have the fears of the coronavirus. This morning I look up the numbers. Every morning I look up the numbers, and it's 730 confirmed cases. The numbers are almost doubling every day. 27 deaths, 730 confirmed cases. Not quite doubling every day, but close to it. Like I said, I'm not a fear monger. I don't want to be one of those people, but it seems to be doing what they predicted, that it was going to spread, and it spread rapidly in the United States, especially with the slow distribution of the test kits, which are finally starting to get out. Here in Connecticut, our governor went to a local hospital here, and started talking about handing out the test kits. They're finally here. But see, here's the problem. Who knows how many people one undetected person could have infected. And again, I believe too, a lot of it is fear. My parents are old, right? And they fear this. They fear it a lot. They fear like it's a zombie apocalypse to them. They're shopping closer to home. Instead of going 10 miles to the store, they're going to the corner store, paying more so they don't have to go to the bigger populations. They've cut back on dining out. And this is gonna, and how many, this is just my parents, and this is gonna be happening all over the place. This is gonna hugely affect the economy. Stuff I never thought of, like dining out, local restaurants, or even like Stop and Shop, or a big chain of stores here. Less people. I saw people one after the other wiping down the shopping carts as they went to Stop and Shop the other day. The fear, I think, is going to be causing a lot more damage to our economy than the actual virus itself. But it is what it is. Now, I was reading about the airline industry taking a huge hit too. So many people are not going to be traveling, and again, stock markets start to stock prices fall. Businesses that are on the edge start dropping off and not being able to pay their debts. Banks start panicking. And you know what it reminds me? Once I did a lot of reading lately. I read a couple books on the 2008 housing crisis and how that thing just collapsed like a sinkhole. I see a lot of similarities between the oil industry right now and the housing crisis industry back in 2007, 2008. I could be wrong, but I see a lot. So yeah, yesterday was, like I said, I didn't realize that the Dow took an all-time hit yesterday. I keep forgetting that Treasury bond yields took went under 1% for the first time in U.S. history. And again, this is it spreads out and hits a lot of things. A lot of people are saying to put things into perspective, it's not all Donald Trump's fault at all. A lot of people are saying that after 11-year bull run, the bubble's bound to pop. It's just how long it's going to take and how big that pop is going to be. To use the analogy of my good friend, it's like Humpty Dumpty on the wall, falling off the wall. But the thing that I don't like, personally, my criticism for Donald Trump is I don't think he's being truthful in the least. I know there's a tightrope balance you got to walk into by telling people what to expect, to be honest with them, especially when it comes to their health and their money, and to tell them the truth so they can make wise decisions, but not to incite fear and panic. It's a very, very tough tightrope to walk. And if we're talking about walking a tightrope, Donald Trump is not, he's a bull in a china shop, really. So another thing that came to my mind, for years, Donald Trump's been putting down windmills, solar energy. Another book I read too, one other note is close personal investor friends of his, billionaires heavily invested in oil and their contributions to his and their use of his like $6,000 hotel rooms. And there's some shady deals going on between him and the big oil and Donald Trump, without a doubt. The more you read into it, I suggest people look into that. But if we had been more invested, as the rest of the world started investing in windmills, green energy, I think we'd be a lot less. I think this is going to be a bad year for the economy for the United States, and I think we would have been a lot better off if we had maybe started investing more into green energy, like the rest of the world. We're the only holdouts. And I think we might end up paying for it, with the economy this year. Because, on one hand, it was good that we produced all of our own oil, that we had built up all the fracking and all that in the country. Personally, I despise fracking. I think it's an abomination. I think it's fucking Mother Nature, fucking our Earth. Really, I don't like it. But anyway, this is another criticism I have of our president is. If he had divested, if he had followed the rest of the world with green energy and windmills, I think we'd be taking a lot less of a hit than we will be this year. Because if people are staying home, they're still using energy. They're still using electricity, still going to the movies, whatever. Or maybe not the movies, but they're still using energy. Thus, wind energy, solar energy would still be going fine. Whereas the oil, the travel with planes, cars is going to be dropping off, and all these jobs in the United States that are connected to our energy independence, our 100% oil energy independence, is going to bite us in the ass, I think, in this coming year. Just some thoughts, some rough ideas. Let me know what you guys think. If I had any wrong, if I was off there. All right, you guys have a great Tuesday.